Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here with special guest Luigi, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. I looked at the top 5 standard best of 1 decks on Untapped GG, and I'm gonna explain each of them a little bit, then play one game with them, so that way we get a variety of different matches and different gameplay, and so you can see what deck you might like more or less than others. If this is something you'd want to see in the future, maybe with other formats, let me know. I'm just trying to try something different, right, Luigi? And we're just seeing how it goes. But also, if you notice, I'm currently rank 178 on the constructed ladder and 102 on the limited ladder. And if you want to watch me try and get into the top 10 in each of them, you can do so at twitch.tv/TheNerdySteve to watch me play live. And if you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, or subscribe to help support the channel. And with that, let's go play some games. This is a Boros aggro deck, and this is kind of really simple. We want to get down our creatures as quickly as possible. We have Helpful Initiate and Kamano faces Kakazan. And then we want to do a turn 2 play, either Luminarch Aspirant, which can pump up the Hopeful Initiate, or Bloodthirsty Adversary after the Kakazan, so we're attacking with a 3/3. And then on the third turn, we have Removal with Brutal Cathar, or Sunset Cavalier as a big trampoline haste creature. And then on the fourth turn, we have Thundering Raiju, which can attack and pump our team. And over the first couple of turns, we have Training from Hopeful Initiate, the counter from Kamano, and the counter from Luminarch, and maybe the counter from Night and Day from Sunrise Cavalier. So our Raiju can pump another creature and deal damage to our opponents because a couple of ours, hopefully, will have +1/+1 counters. And that's how it goes. We want to be very quick. We also have various burn to help finish out our opponent or get rid of nasty creatures that have the audacity to block. And so let's go play a game with it. This isn't that particularly good a hand, as in it's a bad hand we're going to mulligan. We don't have any pressure early on, and our third turn play is a removal spell, which isn't great if our opponent is a little controlly, and Brutal Cathar becomes much worse when you don't have any pressure to go along with it. This isn't fantastic because we're missing a color, but we cannot we cannot go to 5 here. And Luminarch Aspirant is one of the best cards we have in our deck, so maybe it will work out. It looks like our opponent might be on the same type of plan. Oh, that is great. Now, if our opponent can't remove the Luminarch Aspirant, here we're kind of in a very good spot. They could easily have a Royal Eruption though. Okay. So unfortunate, but we get to do this and attack. Now, depending on what our opponent has, they probably are a Rip Apart. We don't have Rip Apart in our deck. Okay. Another Hopeful Initiate. So we're going to do this and attack again. This is going to turn very badly for us if our opponent can Thundering Kaiju here, because it pumps both the Hopeful Initiates. Okay, that's a little less bad. Our opponent didn't play another land though, so maybe they have that. Because Kaiju attacks, it pumps, the trains, we take 2 from the Kaiju, it just is a lot. And again, we have removal for the Brutal Cathar. I would like to not draw a land, honestly. But we're gonna Brutal Cathar away and Initiate. We don't hold the lands because there's not necessarily a use. right? And we want to be able to Royal Eruption. So I'm not going to do anything. It becomes night. We get our Cavaliers both will pump. And then if our opponent ever double spells, we get to flip this to get rid of that. Luminarch Aspirant is very good. Oh, I wonder what's happening here. I think I'm just going to block with the first striker. If our opponent has interaction, they have interaction. I'm not going to... If it's a play with fire, they deal 2. You know. Alright, that is a hopeful initiative. Our opponent did double spell, which might be game now, because we get to exile that. Oh, it's not game. Right? Because this isn't big enough yet. Or, oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, we deal... Oh, wait. Opponent goes to 3 here. Oh, it is game, right? We deal 3. And it's lethal? GG. So we're on to our second deck, which is Mono White Aggro. This is a very specific type of Mono White Aggro deck in that it also has a 2-spell a turn theme. So we have Clarion Spirit, Code Spell Cleric, and Monk of the Open Hand, which all get better when you cast multiple spells a turn. And that becomes very obvious with how this deck is built with Homestead Courage, which can be, you can cast it once, then flash it back to trigger all your effects that require a second spell. Guiding Voice gets a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and then you learn, which can then cast another spell from your sideboard. The deck initially from Untapped only had 3, so I kind of filled out the learn board. It could probably be just 4 Inkling Summonings or something if you wanted, but that's just what I put there. In addition to that, we have Luminarch Aspirant, which is one of the most powerful cards in Standard. It's gonna pump whatever creature you want. You get to distribute counters as aggressively as you like to make combat worse for your opponent and better for you. We have Intrepid Adversary, which can pump your board, and hopefully you're gonna have a nice big one. And then we have Skyclave Apparition as, you know, the removal that sometimes you need in these matchups or in the best of one. And Maul the Skyclaves is an equipment that can come down during board stalls and take a really big creature that could be chump block, evasion, and kill your opponent out of nowhere. And with that, let's go play some games, a game. Okay, this is a little unfortunate. We don't have any turn 1 plays, but I'm very hesitant to mulligan this. Because I think Luminarch Aspirant is just that good. Alright, and that is somewhat decent. If we draw a land, we can double spell now. Let's see what our opponent does here. Vanishing Verse? Okay. So we didn't draw our land, but now with Clarion Spirit, we can double spell. Ooh. Well, I would love to have been able to Skyclave Apparition the Valkyrie. Because that's going to be a big problem. A really big problem. Okay, there we go. And now we can attack. Our opponent can chump something here, which is fine. But they go down to 3. And we want to be able to lower their life total as much as we possibly can. Youthful Valkyrie. So what I want to do here, I think, is Maul. Do we want to go diverse threats or one big one? I don't know. Alright. That might be good for us, because then we get to Usher. We have multiple tokens. Giada. That will pump the Valkyrie, and another Youthful Valkyrie. So I'm gonna Skyclave Apparition a creature away. GG. I'm very interested in this deck because this is a very different type of enchantments I've seen in Standard. The only rune card it runs is Rune of Might. Otherwise, it's just a very, very focused, aggressive enchantment strategy. It's looking like it wants to really use Weaver of Harmony to trigger Machiko's Reign of Truth a lot, and hopefully on something with Trample, so you can pump up the Kami to a really, really high level very, very quickly, and then overwhelm your opponent. It, of course, runs Generous Visitor, which can also pump your board, too. It's very, very interesting and very different, and I'm excited to see how it plays out, because I don't know what it is. I just do know we want to play a lot of creatures, and then a lot of enchantments, and hope that's good enough. Okay, we don't have a good turn 1 play, and in fact, we have to Overgrown Farmland turn 1 to ensure we can turn 2 Kami of Transients. But I think we might be fine here. Weaver of Harmony can copy a Circle of Confinement trigger. So that might also be how we can keep up with other aggressive strategies. Our opponent is mono green, so we have to worry about fight stuff happening. No blocks. I would have loved to have drawn a land there, but we didn't. So now I'm just gonna do that. I'm not gonna even... Do we attack? Oh yeah, we're not gonna block. So we attack there. Now an unfortunate thing... Oh, Blizzard Brawl, yep, is very unfortunate. Now our opponent gets to draw with Werewolf Pack Leader. Ouch. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. We really needed to draw land, and we didn't. I don't even know if we can attack yet. Because our opponent also probably has much more removal. If our opponent... Drawing here... God. I'm assuming there's more interaction here, or no? Alright, I'm just gonna block here. If our opponent has something to kill the... No, I'm sorry. To kill the Kami, then our opponent has something. But, oh, a Seeker's Chariot. Okay. That's actually... Would love to draw a land. Now, maybe we have to commune for a plains? I think so we can... Or that. Because we have this and Weaver. Because we're making the Kami bigger. At least, and now that can get rid of a pack leader. I'm still not gonna attack yet. I'm a little scared. Sculptor is kind of fine. Proving that our opponent, what could our opponent have here? I honestly just want to stop our opponent from drawing all these cards. Is this it could be what, Inscription? Maybe. But I want to stop that, and we can gain some life here. Uboseiju? Okay. Yes. I would like a card. And a safekeeping? Okay. So if we do the Jukai Naturalist, then we can Circle of Confinement. Copy it. We do not attack. If our opponent has more removal, this is a wonderful Uvenwald Oddity. That's actually, we're kind of okay, right? By attacking with this, we don't have to block, right? So we can do that and do that. And we gain some life there. We can do this to remove 2 things. Or we can do that next turn. And copy that triggered ability. Let's commune. And we can attack for 3. We go up to 6, which is a lot of life. And then Werewolf Pack Leader. That Kami can just block now. Sculptor. This is 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. GG. Oh, I I was not expecting to win that one. So this is a very interesting take on the Angel deck, and I have no idea how it's going to play out. It is a much more control-y deck. So we have the basic, what we would kind of anticipate, Giada, Youthful Valkyrie, Righteous Valkyrie, and Inspiring Overseer. And then we also have our Legion Angels with the 3 in the sideboard and Retribution. And we also have Liesa. Like, those are things we've seen in the standard Orzhov Angel decks before. But the interesting thing is we also have Sigardian Savior, which is an angel that when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return up to 2 target creatures with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And what Sigardian Savior is saying here is that we want to maybe trade our Giada and Youthful Valkyries early because we can get them back. Which is, it's just very, very interesting. And then we also have Sanctuary Warden, which is a 6-mana bomb from Streets of New Capenna that we don't see a lot, but it, if you can cast it specifically in how aggressive a lot of Best of One is, it is a huge wall that generates card advantage and multiple blockers. We also have Haunting Voyage, which is uh, a card that when you foretell it, or when you cast it, if it was foretold, you return all cards of its chosen creature type from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is Angels. So that's what we would be doing here. And for 6 mana, it can just return 2 without foretelling it. And I assume by looking at Haunting Voyage, and we also have Boon of Safety, which is a shield counter and scries, maybe we're just looking to be not necessarily as aggressive early game, but we want to be able to trade and make our creatures last so our late game bombs like Haunting Voyage and maybe a Sigardian Savior can do a lot of work. When normally the Angel deck kind of teeters out on turn 4, that's where a lot of its power. This is more of a control endgame Angel deck. And Elspeth Resplendent, if she can live for a couple of turns, not only can you maybe find her -3 can find Righteous Valkyrie or Giada or anything, and it's really, really good. But if you can +1 an Angel, give it lifelink and attack, that just buys you so much time. And maybe in this more control-y version, that is, if you can go Elspeth to live a turn and then next turn Sanctuary Warden, maybe that's okay. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what this deck does. Okay. We have our Youthful Valkyrie and Giada, which both can be returned with the Sigardian Savior. So we're kind of already there. Blood type Harvester. So I think maybe we can, if we Giada here, it forces them to use the Harvester. Because then our Youthful Valkyrie, we get to double spell next turn. Okay. Corpse Appraiser. Oh, and the Corpse Appraiser is the graveyard removal that really, really messes with our Sigardian Savior. Oh, that's so bad. Let's see what our opponent has. Voltage Surge, okay. So we're gonna, what, double Youthful Valkyrie? Another oh, these Corpse Appraisers are actually gonna be really brutal against us. And I don't like it one bit. Now, I guess it's really going to depend what we draw. I think I want to double block here. We don't want to take tons of damage. If they have a removal spell, it's gonna suck anyway. Alright, so that was... So now if we can land, and while they're tapped out, we get to return both of these. That's kind of good. Right? Yeah. I'll take that. And we got to use the Youthful Valkyrie outside of them potentially removing it with Corpse Appraiser or the Werewolf. Graveyard Trespasser. So again, I'm gonna do this. Maybe we don't have to here, but I kind of think I want them to use removal now rather than later. But maybe that's just wrong. Voltage Surge. Oh, our opponent did the wrong order, I think. Ouch. So here, what I'm gonna do is... I think we want to Vanishing Verse that. Get to attack. Finally deal some damage here. Bloodthirsty Adversary can get a lot of stuff here. That Voltage Surge is going to kill that. Then our opponent does get a treasure. Our Retribution will be able to kill, I think. We can kill all of their stuff. And do we want to? I think we don't. That's a lot of damage. And Double Strike next turn makes a lot of it lethal. And we have the Vanishing Verse if we need to really get rid of something. Trying to think, maybe our opponent has a Bloodthirsty Adversary. I think. Huh. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sure there's some type of... yeah. Adversary is probably gonna get the... I don't know. Voltage Surge gets rid of Valkyrie. And yeah, that's GG. I mean, I'll take it. And our final and fifth deck is Naya Humans. This is, again, like a lot of the previous aggressive strategies we have. We have Hopeful Initiate, followed by Luminarch Aspirant. This deck does have Mina Harker, which makes all non-creature spells cost one more. And that, because our deck is very, very aggressive, very aggressive, we only have Valorous Stance, I think, at a cursory glance as our only non-creature spell. It's usually only going to tax opponent's creature or cards, which is really good, because that means we get to do our own gameplay and our opponent's gonna stumble a little bit. This is a humans deck, so it has Sigarda, Champion of Light. So it's a 4/4 that gives all humans +1/+1. So it's gonna, when we cast Sigarda, our creatures are gonna become much bigger. And then it has a Coven effect, which can find us potentially more humans down the line. We also have Halana and Elena partners, which I don't even know if you can read this text, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put X+1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halana and Elena's power. So on the 4th turn, if Halana and Elena comes down, it can just start making your creatures so overwhelmingly powerful that it's really, really hard for other aggressive strategies to race or block effectively. And so this power, a lot of the power from this deck comes from our really, really great 4-drops. But we also have Elite Spellbinder as, in addition to Thalia, can really make your opponent's cards not be played on curve or a turn or two later, which is the same thing. And that's really, really good for aggressive strategies if we can dictate what our opponent does. We have Brutal Cathar as interaction for opposing creatures, and then Minsk Beloved Ranger and Adeline for more aggressive shenanigans. So let's go play a game. Okay. I think we have to mulligan here because we need a land. But no, we go first. We'll draw something. We'll draw something. You know, any non-land we can cast, right? So, we're good. And look at us drawing exactly what we need against a deck with blue mana. Mina Harker is amazing here. So now we have to figure out... I think I would love to Adeline here. But now... Expressive Iteration... Prismari Command. So we kind of wish we were a little more aggressive. Our opponent's trying to find lands. But this is the reason why Mina Harker is amazing. It just almost makes some matchups like our opponent's playing 3 turns behind. Alright, this is unfortunate because it means our opponent gets a Prismari command and we have to do this. Yep. Eight, and then we do it again. Our opponent still is at 7 to cast the Burn Down the House. Well, we would really like another land for maybe lethal or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what our opponent does here. Oh, wow. Our opponent will do... Burn Down the House here. Or maybe they won't. I would have to assume so, though, right? Okay, we got a land, everyone. Oh, we couldn't cast that. Getting punished for no white mana. Another expressive... Our opponent has had all the expressive iterations. And we just need white mana now. Okay. Bouncing it. Prismari commanding it. Oh my god. Four. Lear would be so bad right now. A lot of things would be really bad. Fading Hope. How sad. Don't have anything, please. We were so close, and maybe we should have mulliganed. Honestly, like... It's awful, but maybe we should have, though. Again, I don't know. I don't think we can win regardless. If we don't have Mina Harker there, we're just dead. So... Body of research? Kill me now, please. You know what? I don't mind losing like that. GG. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope this was an interesting format. Let me know if you like it, because it's something I would very easily and love to do more of. I think it's really, really cool to just quickly see how different decks play, even though not all the games will always be very good, because, just trying to get a quick taste. I think it's a nice way to add variety, and hopefully it was entertaining. I don't know. Let me know by commenting, or subscribing below. Also, again, I stream live at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve if you want to talk and chat with me there. And of course, with all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon wherever you are, and thanks for watching. Bye.